Yeah. Yeah. Look, back and I'm better than ever. I think I got a vendetta. Oh, now they call me, I seen them. All of those times getting severed. I told them all I can let up. They get not tired of me never. Give me a shot and I swear I shoot like Berettas. Yeah. They getting nervous, I seen it. What I seen, you wouldn't believe it. They say they want it, I need it. Damn, I'm going dumb like I dropped out of class. Get in my lane and I'm going right past. I turn it up, watch me go to the max. You ain't it first and you know this you last. I thought I told them I'm coming right back. I got a flows like it came from the tap, and I came from my city, that's right on my back.
Let's go, deep divers. Shout out to everyone who's here. Oh, we got a lot to talk about. Let me get a perfect. Let me shout out to Stardust Diamond. Shout out to Nicholas as well.
I'm so happy.
We didn't even schedule this show.
The whole world is just beginning.
Let it roll, deep divers.
We already won. It's about us all. So many beautiful deep divers here.
You are now in the mix.
Shout out to all of you deep divers. Oh, how you feeling today?
Feels so good to be alive, baby.
Hit that like button on the way in.
Yeah, I'm so happy.
Make yourself comfortable.
It's a choice.
Shout out to Quantum Dynamic 8 in the house. You are appreciated.
I'm so happy to manifest whatever you want, to be whatever you want. It's a choice.
It's always a choice.
Freedom is a must. We have to become the spoon.
Oh yeah. A big shout out to everyone who's here. Peace, Infinite Waters diving deep once again. We are live, okay? I hope everyone is taking care of themselves. I hope everyone is in good spirits. I hope everyone is really diving deep. And we're going to talk about it, deep divers. We've got so much to talk about. First and foremost, if you've come here for the first time, make yourself at home, make yourself comfortable. In these live shows, we dive deep. Let me say a big shout out to all the patrons, everyone who's joined the new patreon.com/Ralph Smart. You really want to be there, deep divers, because you're going to get exclusive content. Already over 50 exclusive videos, long format videos, which are really gonna help you become your greatest version, right? So patreon.com/Ralph Smart. And I hope all of you are taking care of yourself. Make sure you get the book, all on ralphsmart.com. Feel Alive by Ralph Smart, #1 best-selling book. The latest book of 1111 Infinite Quotes by Ralph Smart. And of course, Feel Alive Part 2 is coming out. Get the good ass prana shirts, ralphsmart.com/clothes. Let me shout out to Fantasy Flower Child, you are appreciated. And we already got a super chat. That's fantastic. Coming in on the 1212. Hey, Nicholas, let me give you a round of applause for being a #1 supporter. I support you. I appreciate you. Let me get a Don DeMarco as well.
Don DeMarco.
Nicholas K, you're most appreciated. You are most appreciated for always supporting Infinite Waters. Let me give you some horns. Thank you for being a true supporter of the movement, because like I told you, we need support. You know, a lot is happening on the planet. Nicholas K, shout out to you. Thanks for all that you do, Ralph. As you know, I'm a long time listener of you, and as always, deep divers, keep the vibes high and remember to do something today that you can thank yourself for tomorrow. Hey! Had to drop a love bomb on that. Nicholas K, you are appreciated. And shout out to all of you wonderful deep divers who are here. Everyone who's made it here. I can see everyone in the chat. That's fantastic. And we've got a lot to talk about, but first, let's breathe. Did you breathe today, deep divers? I said let's breathe. Woo! Breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Take all of that good ass energy I'm sending you. Raising the frequency. Raising the vibration. And we're here to always spread good energy, good vibrations, good frequencies. Reminding ourselves that the world is what we focus on consistently. We're going to talk about this topic, deep divers. The battle of the end times. Because someone actually asked this question. This is the question of the day. I already put out a video, already gone viral, right, about the end times event. We're going to talk about all of that, and I want to hear your feedback. I want to know what you have to say about the topic, because you see, there are a lot of things in the pipeline humanity has to be vigilant of and aware of, and I'm just giving you the heads up. And I really want to remind you, this is not a time to be afraid. This is a time to be prepared. Slow motion this side. This is not a time to be afraid. This is a time to be prepared. If you've just joined, make sure you smash the like button and let someone else know that Infinite Waters is live. So let's talk about the battle of the end times, okay? Someone asked, what are the biggest signs of the end times? And, you know, I got a picture, deep divers, which is really incredible, right? Because this picture is really all about the end times. It really depicts the end times battle that's happening right now on the planet. The apocalyptic battle between good and evil is as old as time itself, but it's actually happening. And we've got to remind ourselves that it's funny. Let me shout out to Billy Carson. Shout out to Billy Carson. I was actually listening to his show on the Rogan podcast, and it was amazing. Amazing, right? In the Sumerian tablets, they talked about everything that's happening right now. A lot of people say that's the actual Old Testament. All throughout time, for thousands of years, they've talked about the end times event. In modern times, you've had the Hopi, the Cree, right, who have spoken about this, and the Native Americans, like I told you, they had this prophecy. You know, they talk about the different worlds in the Native American cosmology. They're talking about how we're in the fourth world right now. This is the age of destruction, deceit, hypocrisy, ego, greed. This is symbolic of the end times, wars, people who are being misguided by external forces. People right now on the planet are trying to get away from themselves. And you see, before it can get better for a lot of people, they're going to have to go through the fire. And a lot of people are really going to go through it. A lot of people are really going to have a wake-up call, because you see, the awakening is not something called peaches and cream. Awakening is an extremely destructive process. An extremely destructive process. Why do you think it's a destructive process, deep divers? Let me know. Let me shout out to Quantum Dynamic in the house. Oh, you are appreciated. Quantum dynamic number one. Deep diver. Diving deep once again. And I want to hear from you, deep divers. This is the live interactive show. Let me shout out to Quantum Dynamic 8 in the house. You are appreciated. I'm going to say E, right? Ralphie, I like that. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming, love, so much. For coming live. Love you so much. In the end times, it's time to integrate the polarity. Safe people versus unsafe people aspects within integration time. It's indeed. Hey, you are appreciated. You are most definitely appreciated. In the end times, it's time to integrate the polarity. I love that. I really love that. And that really reminds me that we have to integrate this shadow that we have inside of us. Inside of every one of us, we have a shadow, right? And we have to learn to integrate the shadow. The shadow side is in everyone. And we have to realize that there's a big battle happening, a big war happening, not out there, but actually inside here. So we have to remind ourselves every single day of that. Shout out to all of you wonderful deep divers in the house. You are appreciated. Dejo Designer, you are appreciated. Shout out to you. Separation of wheat and tares are a big sign. Hey, you are most definitely appreciated. So, like I said, there is a big battle happening. And it's happening within people. This depiction of good versus evil is not something which is external. It's actually happening inside people. There's a big battle happening. Big battle happening. Shout out to all of you deep divers. We are live and we're talking about the battle of the end times. You see, in today's new video, I spoke about how, let's just take the ecosystem. I was listening to a podcast of a guy who was living in the Amazon rainforest, right? And the Amazon rainforest is amazing because it's got the most species in an area compared to anywhere else on the planet. You will find everything there, even the cat down the road, deep divers. You will find everything in the Amazon rainforest, okay? And you see, a lot of people have been disconnected from nature. They've been disconnected from even themselves. When you remind yourself that the Native Americans had this amazing wisdom, all over Africa, indigenous tribes had this amazing wisdom, that what we do to the planet is what we're doing to ourselves, right? So I gave you some facts in today's new video. I spoke about how since the last 54 years, 50 plus years, since 1970, 70% of animal populations have been wiped off the face of the planet. I don't think a lot of people know that this is a sign of the end times. I don't think a lot of people know, even like people like David Attenborough have come out saying, hey, we got to do something because it's going to be bad for human beings, because what's happened is that we're wiping out the ecosystems of the whole planet, which our very existence depends on. What if I told you that a little ant, you need the ants because they help the soil. Without ants, human beings wouldn't be alive. Without ants, nothing would grow. So even something as small as an ant is essential in the ecosystem of creation. So when you remind yourself, since 1970, 70% of animal populations, wildlife populations, have been wiped out, it's a wake-up call for all of us. Another fact I shared was 92.2% billion animals are killed every single year. 92.2 just imagine, not million, billion, right? So it's a huge wake-up call. And I remember making videos back in 2016, I would say 64 billion animals. Well, it's jumped up to 92.2 billion animals are killed every single year. We can talk about the fishes in the ocean, the aquatic life. We're talking about between 1 trillion billion, no, I said trillion, between 1 trillion and 2.8 trillion fish are killed every single year. This is the reason why we're in the end times, and it's a battle of the end times. Now, it's not all doom and gloom. The beautiful thing about the end times is that what we call the end is really nothing more than a new beginning in disguise. What we call the end is nothing more than a new beginning in disguise. And the truth is, deep divers, have you felt that it's kind of weird right now on the planet? That's because it is. If it feels like things are ending, that's because they are. These are the symptoms of the end times. And you have to really know how to protect your energy during these times, raise your frequency during these times, raise your vibration during these times, because these times are really intense for a lot of people. There are a lot of empaths out there. There are a lot of people who can feel what's happening in the Gaza Strip. All of these things influence us on an energetic level. To think that things are separate in this universe is nothing more than an illusion. Everything is connected. Have you seen what's happening in South Florida? They've got floods. This has never happened before at this time of the year. This is because even nature is communicating through the weather. You're having bizarre weather happening in the summertime, floods in Florida, all kind of things happening. DeSantis had to say, hey, we're going to call a state of emergency. This is all because these are the signs of the end times, and it's just beginning. We've got to take a positive, even when we're immersed in a negative situation. And one of the positives you can draw from this time is that you can now see what's happening. Can you see what's happening, deep divers? Can you see what's happening? A lot of people are now being able to see for the first time. You see, 2020 was all about getting your vision back. That's why it symbolized 2020 vision. It wasn't an accident that there was also a worldwide shutdown, lockdown. And that forced you to open your eyes a little bit, a tiny bit, right? Things haven't got back to normal, and things are never going to go back to normal. You got to realize that these times have been prophesized. Even the Native Americans, when they said, when the earth is ravaged, the animals are dying, the place is polluted, a new tribe of people shall come onto the earth from different creeds, classes, colors, and by whom, and their actions and their deeds, they will be known by their actions and deeds, and they will make the earth green again. They will be known as the warriors of the rainbow. We're in this time right now where there's battles happening, not just out there, but inside people's homes, right? A lot of you might live with someone and there's a clash of how you see the world, how they see the world. I told you there's a 3D, 5D split, which has already happened and is growing larger. These are the signs of the end times. Now it's binary. You either get it or you don't. You're either awake or you're fast asleep. And we've got to remind ourselves that a lot is getting ready to take place. Because you see, someone actually wrote in on the new video, Ralph, I'm a chosen one. I've been feeling that something big is coming. And that's because it is. You see, things happen just when you're about to fall asleep. That's when things happen. Just when you're about to say, you know what, we can go back to normal and fall asleep again. that's when you have to watch out. And this is where we find ourselves right now, because a lot of it seems quite quiet, but that's when you've got to pay attention, because that's the time when you're going to be vulnerable to an attack. You see, this image is so powerful because it really depicts the end times events. There's a battle happening between the light and the dark, between the good and the evil, and between those who really want to be free and those who want to control you. I did speak about it's been written, it was written, that there would come a time on the planet where this entire version of reality would come crumbling and tumbling down. The house of cards would come tumbling down. And it's a time where everything is being exposed. Cat Williams went on Shannon Sharp. What did he say? He said, it's up for everyone. He said, this is the age of truth, right? He's almost seeming like a prophet, but chosen ones were telling you that for a long time, that this is the age of truth. We're in a time right now where even those so-called celebrities that people worshipped, everything is symbolic during an end times event, that you now see another side of them. Okay? You now see another side of them. Will Smith, phenomenal actor. We saw another side of him. Kevin Spacey, right? His house of cards came tumbling down. This is all symbolic. Even though he beat the court case, Diddy, Holmes getting raided. He was at the top for so long in the industry, but symbolically speaking, during an end times event, everything is reversed. And this is the reason why you want to pay attention to what's happening, because we're in probably the greatest times ever on the planet, simply because everything is about to change in the most monumental way. The programs are crashing. The Matrix is over. It's been over for a long time, but you're going to have the eyes to see, and you're also going to have the strength to win the battle. The battle is still on. And the inorganic ones, they want to really change a human being forever. And this is what many human beings are up against. We're in a time right now where if you are someone who is awake, just count yourself extremely lucky. If you are someone who has the eyes to see, your whole family is like, what on earth are you talking about? Just count yourself extremely fortunate, because you see, not everyone can see, even though they have eyes. A lot of people have been blinded by this illusion, which is so, the illusion is so intoxicating. It lures you in, and you lose all sense of who you really are. The battle of the end times we're in right now is really to stay as human as you can. It's going to be tough. It's going to be extremely difficult. Even the cat down the road is kind of looking a little bit shaky, baby. Apple just released an update, and it's scary. The reason why is because the new iOS 18 is going full AI. And that's just the start of it. They can do all kind of things. You can create your own emojis. All of these things sound fantastic. But what a lot of people don't realize is that within the next few years, and even Ray Kurzweil, who is a futurist director of engineering of Google, who predicted the singularity would be in 2050, he's spoken about how it's actually going to be in 2029. What that means is that AI is going to run everything. There's a reason why a lot of these apps, you can't buy them anymore. You can only subscribe to it. You can only get a subscription. So when they said you will owe nothing and be happy, they really meant it. They really meant it, deep divers. So all of these are the signs, the battle of the end times. I'm walking around and I see on someone's van, keep your cash. Let's use the cash, right? They were kind of doing their little protest on their van. And that was amazing. Because we've got to remind ourselves that your van can be great, right? It can be a great way to communicate with the outside world. This was a caravan. Most people don't even have cash like they used to have cash. Everything is digital. I was in the supermarket, and what happened? Payment wasn't going through. And I had to go somewhere. And it suddenly dawned on me like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. I had to phone my bank. Hey, can you unblock my card? Had to wait 30 minutes. By the time I got through, they said, oh, we're going to have to connect you to the fraud team. I said, what? I was there for another half an hour. I said, oh my gosh, we've got a problem. So we've got to remind ourselves that we're in a very testing time for humanity. Also, we're in a very liberating time because, you see, a lot of people actually welcome the end times. The reason why is because they've had enough. Have you had enough of this, deep divers? If you've had enough, hit that like button, share the video. If you've had enough of the Matrix, hit the like button, share the video. A lot of people have had enough and they want something new. All of this is bringing about the end times. It's not just something which is just happening. It's happening because people want it to happen. People want this to come to an end. They want something new. This has been in the hearts of so many people for the longest time. They're saying, hey, I can't wait till this is over. I can't wait till everyone else wakes up. I can't wait till people start to really free themselves. So a lot of people have been silently wishing and hoping that everything ends so something new can begin. This has been a wish for a lot of people because they know that when things get really bad, that's when people start to wake up. When things get really, really terrible, that's when people start to have moments of reflection. But when things are just going about how they've always gone about, people fall asleep. So the end times is something which I welcome, I embrace, knowing that a new earth is going to be formed. You know, one of the things I didn't say in that video, which I meant to say, was there's been an attack on the feminine energy on the planet. And this is also a sign of the end times. You see, the ancients knew that during the end times, there would be a battle of the sexes, a battle between men and women, an attack on the family institution, which is the greatest institution ever. So it's no surprise that in modern society, a lot of men and women are going back and forth, not realizing this was all orchestrated and all done by design. And the good news is that now people are starting to say, okay, you know, men and women aren't opposites. Men and women are complementary, right? Men and women are complementary. And once that family unit comes back and men and women start to vibrate like how they should, the yin and the yang, when there's a balance of energies, the whole planet is going to be balanced. If there's an imbalance of energy, the whole planet is going to be imbalanced. You see, everything is a reflection, an echo of everything else. So we have to remind ourselves that the world is in the state it's in because there's also an imbalance of energy. This is huge because you see, a lot of people right now don't realize that even a lot of women, they're leaning more towards the yang energy, the masculine energy. It's hard to find a yin woman who is truly in her feminine energy. They're there, but they're few and far between. And this is the reason why there's a huge imbalance on the planet. Because you see, the inorganic ones, what they needed was to control the Stargate. They needed to control the vessel through which life comes. So if you want to do that, you have to attack the womb. Shout out to Dr. Phil Valentine. The Wounded Womb, fantastic book. So you have to attack the womb. And that's the reason why there's an imbalance on the planet. So women must heal, men must heal, so things can get back in order. You see, the greatest trick the devil played on you was telling you that he doesn't exist. You've heard that saying, I'm sure, right? And this is the end times. This picture so well depicts it, so well shows what people are going through. You see, as soon as you wake up, you may not notice this, but you're being attacked from all kind of energies externally. And you have to really realize that you have to have antivirus software inside of you, because you're almost like a computer, deep divers. You need to have spyware. You need to have all of these things. Otherwise, you're going to be vulnerable to outside forces. You see, the truth is, for a long time, there's been a big plan to make sure people don't reach enlightenment. And this is symbolic of the battle of the end times, because once you actually win the war within yourself, you reach enlightenment. And there's been a deliberate dumbing down of the whole population. You know, I'm happy actually that Lauryn Hill won Best Album of the Century. Right? She deserves it. But you see, Lauryn Hill is a few and far between, because once again, that album was a long time ago. What's the state of today's new music? Have you ever wondered why Sexy Red is trending? Ever wondered why the music you're listening to ain't gonna take you to that next level? Do you think that's an accident? Or do you think someone knows the power of frequencies? Everything is frequency, everything is energy, everything is vibration. So when you remind yourself that actually the battle of the end times is actually sound wars, right? Not Star Wars, sound wars. And you better realize that music is more powerful than you've actually ever imagined it to be. Because you see, music goes straight to the subconscious. You know, sometimes you're listening to a song, deep divers. You're listening to that song. You don't even like it, but you start singing it. Becomes addictive, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, I like the song. That was a song you didn't even like before. But as you kept listening to it, it kept reprogramming your subconscious mind. And now you want to hear it, even though it's poisoning your soul. And this is the reason why the battle of the end times is sound wars. It's about controlling people through sound frequency. And the way to counteract this is to really be mindful of what you're listening to. Be mindful of what you're putting into your ears, because everything will affect you in a positive way or in a negative way. Everything has an effect. So this was huge. When I realized this, I said, okay, I got to change my playlist, right? I got to change my playlist real quickly. I got to change what I'm listening to, because that's ultimately what's going to influence me every single day, right? So, I said this battle that's been happening is not a physical battle, even though this picture is so amazing, right? Because it just shows you who is holding the sword. You see, this image, this artist captured the end times, because here you have an angel holding a sword with power equaling what the demon is doing. The demon is holding the sword with the same power, the same force as the angel. So who wins? That's the question. Who wins? Because you got to remind yourself, even the devil was a fallen angel. Right? So we've got to remind ourselves that we're in a powerful time right now, because a lot of people are starting to wake up. A lot of people are starting to become more aware that it's not a physical battle. It's a spiritual battle. Everyone is spiritual, even if they don't know it. And because it's a spiritual battle, that means it's a frequency battle. It's a battle which has been prophesied, talked about for thousands of years. And it's a very hard battle to win, because you're going up against a force which knows human beings better than they know themselves. Shout out to everyone who's here. Deep Divers, how you feeling today? Can I give a big shout out to David Tomes, please? David Tomes, 3333. David on the super chat. Let me give you a round of applause for being so awesome. Thank you so much, David. You're far too kind. I appreciate that. David in the house. And Deep Divers, if you're here, make sure you smash that video. We just started. Smash the like button. Make sure you hit the like button, share the video. David Tomes, you are most definitely appreciated. Thank you so much for your generous support to Infinite Waters. And let me tell you something about David. David has been supporting Infinite Waters, a truly great man. Whatever you focus on grows, Ralph Smart. Absolutely. That's a slow motion. Slow motion this side. Whatever you focus on grows. Absolutely. And during the battle of the end times, we have to be aware of our focus. Thank you, David, for actually helping me remind myself of that. We've got to remind ourselves reality is nothing more than what we focus on consistently. Reality is nothing more than what we focus on consistently. Your reality is shaped by your focus. And whatever you focus on grows. And that's the reason why I told you there is a force on the planet, the inorganic ones, who are aware of this. They're aware of that wisdom that David just said, whatever you focus on grows. So have you ever wondered why you're not seeing enough good news? Because if you focus on that, you're going to create great news for yourself. If you focus on the doom and the gloom and the chaos and the disorder, that's also what your mind is going to create. That's what you're going to be planting in your garden. You see, what the ancients knew is the mind is a garden, and your thoughts are the seeds. Whatever you plant in that garden will grow. It will help build you up, or it will help tear you down. It will be your creation, or it will be your destruction, right? So we've got to remind ourselves during these end times, which the world is in, we have to be careful of what we focus on. There's something called spiritual bypassing. And this is when you say, okay, everything is perfect. Everything is beautiful, when it's not. We don't want to be doing spiritual bypassing. We don't want to ignore what's happening. We just want to find a solution that can help us in the best way to what is happening. So when I take a look around at the world and say, oh my gosh, World War III could happen at any time, I'm saying, okay, what's the best solution? The best solution is to realize that you must be the change you wish to see in the world. The best solution is to opt out. You don't have to subscribe. You can unsubscribe to anything not serving you, including war, including fear, including drama, gossip, and you can focus on yourself. You don't have to focus on the Oscars, on the Grammys, on what they're doing in Hollywood. You can actually realize you are the real star. You are someone who has so much to offer. And we have to remind ourselves that there is a battle happening. The battle has been happening. And you see, one of the things that the inorganic ones do is they're masters of disguise. Okay? They are masters of disguise. And during these end times, you want to be aware of how they are able to disguise themselves. Once again, you have people out there who are agents, just like Agent Smith in The Matrix. And you would wonder, why would anyone want to hurt humanity, mislead humanity? But you have to realize that there's two forces on the planet. And there's a force that is all about love, peace, harmony, doing a little samba baby. And there's also a force that actually survives through destruction. That's how it survives. That's how it's fed. It's fed through war. And that's the reason why in ancient times they would talk about sacrificing to the gods. They're not just making that up. That's what would happen because this force needed sacrifice. It needed the adrenochrome, what is produced when people are in a state of fear. They produce these chemicals and it feeds these entities in the astral realm. And this is the reason why people said, okay, let me sacrifice some children. Let me sacrifice some people to the gods. This is where that comes from. These beings haven't disappeared. They're still here. And they've always been here. And you have to realize that this is the battle of the end times. You know, how we actually can elevate and protect our own energy is to not feed into it. You know, right now, you know, Donald Trump has been in the news a lot, right? I don't even follow politics. I just see what the cat down the road sometimes sends me. And when I see it all, I say, oh my gosh, this is just a stage show. You know, Shakespeare told you the whole world is a stage. And the battle of the end times is about you realizing the whole world is a stage. And if you can realize this, you're not going to be fooled. Mark Twain said it's easier to fool people than convince them that they have been fooled. That's a slow motion for Mark Twain. Slow motion this side. It's easier to fool people than to convince people that they have been fooled. Right? So when you see everything happening with politics, with Biden and Trump, I always say, these are the signs of the end times, because people no longer believe in the leaders. A lot of people say, what's happening with Biden when he's acting funny? Can't even put a sentence together. And a lot of people are being able to see through the whole world is a stage. The whole world is a stage, right? And the battle of the end times is about realizing that you want to vote for yourself. You want to realize that actually it's all entertainment. Politics is no different from WWE. It's wrestling. It's just more expensive. And a lot of people are seeing this. You know, one of the biggest things with the battle of the end times is about realizing that every single day, as soon as you wake up, you got to ask yourself, what am I connecting with? Because the truth is, AI is slowly creeping into people's bedrooms. In fact, it's already inside people's bedrooms and is slowly taking over people's lives. I checked my screen time the other day. It had gone down to 4 hours. I'm like, okay, we got to get it down to 2. Right? Because you see, I realized that even though I use technology, the apple is a trap. The apple has always been a trap. And it's extremely difficult to get out of. Because once you're in, there's no way out. That's the reason why if I said, okay, let me take away your phone, you'll say, I can't do that. So just imagine when it's attached to you. Just imagine when your phone is on your arm, on your hand, when it's no longer a device. And that's what's coming. These will be ancient. Your phone will actually be a part of your DNA. And this is the signs of the end times, where everything about you is going to change unless you have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. How's everyone feeling today, deep divers? I hope your day is going good. You know, the good news about the end times is that, once again, a lot of people are ready for something new. We created the end times. The collective consciousness created everything. And it's happening for a reason. Because for something new to begin, something old has to end. What are the things that are coming to an end in the matrix, in the machine world? There are so many things which are coming to an end. One of the biggest things that's coming to an end is your current reality. So many people right now are realizing that actually something is deeply wrong with society. This is Krishnamurti. Krishnamurti was someone who was a great master. He wouldn't call himself a master, but he was someone who was really awake and aware. He said, "It is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society." It is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. These are the signs of the end times. To realize that society is sick. In fact, it's on a life support machine. It's on a life support machine. However, because the illusion has been so prevalent, a lot of people are thinking everything is amazing, when in actuality, like Krishnamurti said, it is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. If you're someone who's like, yeah, I'm fitting into society, I'm part of it, that's no measure of health. because society is sick. And as you heal, society will heal. But it starts with us. You know, a lot of people are ready for change. They're ready for a new start. They're ready for a new beginning. And it's about time. Because like I said, the end times is not just me speaking. It's about seeing what we're doing to the planet. Since 1970, over 70% of animal wildlife populations have been wiped out. This is shocking. That's just in 50 years. If in 50 years, 70% of animal populations have been wiped out, what has that done to the ecosystem? And what does that mean for us? Every year, 92.2 billion animals are killed. Not million, 92.2 billion animals are killed. We kill roughly 1 trillion to 2.8 trillion fish every single year because of humanity's greed and ego. So this is the reason why there's a battle for the end times and of the end times, because humanity is slowly moving towards a very terrifying world if it continues on this path. Only because, just like the Native Americans said, and all the prophecies spoke of, what we do to the planet is actually what we're doing to ourselves, right? So the battle of the end times is here. And you have to be aware that the great battle that's been happening is not going to stop. It's going to keep on going until someone has a victory. It's either you become victorious or you don't. There's no draws. It's either victory or nothing. And this is all symbolic of the end times. We're in a powerful time right now. Once again, it's not a time to be afraid. It's a time to actually celebrate, because a new world is here. And one of the things I've been realizing is that, okay, a lot of people are still unplugged. A lot of people are still unaware. A lot of people are still fast asleep because new levels, new devils, and the game has changed. Now there's new toys, there's new apps, there's TikTok, there's other things that can really distract you. Once again, the inorganic ones are so intelligent, so smart, that they know everything that human beings like. They've studied your nature inside out. And they know that human beings just want to have fun. And I just want to have fun. They know that human beings just want to be ignorant. They don't want to know. So they've created the perfect distractions. And they're getting more sophisticated. And we've got to be careful. You know, one time I was on TikTok, I was spending over like half an hour. I'm like, what on earth am I doing? I'm going deeper and deeper down that thing. Pause. And if I'm not careful, I'm going to get sucked into the AI world. So it's like, you have to be ready and careful that all of these distractions will lure you in. If you're not strong enough, you're going to drown. The battle of the end times, you know, I was listening to Ice Cube, who was talking about gangster rap music. And this is someone who was some might say a gangster rapper, but he was saying how allegedly the CIA helped to push the gangster rap. This was all done by design. So I told you, when you talk about the end times, you talk about even music being weaponized. Music is no longer what you listen to. Music is a program. That's a slow motion. Slow motion this side. Music is not something that you listen to. Music is a program. And a program is something which can open up something. It can help you become superhuman, or it can take you down a deep alleyway. It can make you pick up bad habits. It can make you start drinking. It can do all kinds of things. So when you remind yourself, there are even military weapons where they can play certain sounds and the whole crowd scatters, right? This is in the military, right? They can play certain frequencies and people start to act erratically. They start to do crazy stuff just with the power of sound. So when you remind yourself that the battle of the end times is a sound wars, a frequency wars, and music is a program. And you see, to young children who are impressionable, young children who are very impressionable, all they know is what's on the radio. What's on the radio? Just take a listen to what they're saying, and then you'll see what the agenda is. That's a slow motion. Just take a listen to what is on the radio, then you'll see what the agenda is. The cat down the road wanted to know why there wasn't higher frequency music being played on the radio. Right? So, you've got to remind yourself every single day that frequency is everything. You know, a few artists have tapped into it. XXXTentacion was one of them, right? He knew about the sound frequencies. He was ahead of his time, but once again, he got caught up by some jealous suckers. But you have to realize that it's all about frequency. Getting the right frequencies into you can heal you. You know, one of the biggest things I've seen is that a lot of people don't know. They don't know about the Tibetan sound baths that you can have, right? And these sound baths are huge, right? When you can really remind yourself that you can literally heal yourself with sound frequencies. You know, there's a reason why even my meditation videos, 6 million views, 5 million views. People say they sleep better. They wake up stronger. That's just the power of sound, right? And when you really tap into the certain frequencies, especially the 432 hertz, the 528 hertz, which is the love frequency, the binaural beats, all of these things, you can turn your whole life around. On the flip side, you have to realize that there is a war that has been waged, and it's really to control people with sound, control people with frequency, vibration. So when you wonder why certain people go number one, you have to realize that actually it's all done by design. If you wonder why you don't see singers like Lauryn Hill anymore, that's because it's a battle of the end times. And you have to realize that it's up to us to bring back the real. You know, I wrote down this: the end times are not about the ending of the universe. It's about the ending of this current version of reality. The programs are crashing. Greed, ego, and idolatry have destroyed the hearts of humans. And now it's time for the light to shine again. Slow motion this side. Say it again, Ralph. Deep divers, if you're here, make sure you hit that like button, share the video. Smash that like button right now, share the video. The end times are not about the ending of the universe. It's about the ending of this current version of reality. The programs are crashing. And when we talk about programs, you can see all around you, programs are crashing. You can see them crash right in front of you. Greed, ego, and idolatry have destroyed the hearts of humans, and now it's time for the light to shine again. And this is what we have to always keep at the forefront of our minds, that it's time for the light to shine again. It's time for all of you to shine your light again. It's time for all of you to come back and make sure that you've had your say. Because you see, we're in the end times. You're going to see a lot of things happen you didn't know could happen, would happen, but you're going to see it in your lifetime. And you want to be ready for what's coming, because it's definitely coming. And we're in a time right now where you want to keep your frequency high, your vibration high. This is not the time to sing a sad song. Ain't nobody died around here. This is the time to realize that people are waking up. This is something to celebrate. This is something to really be proud about. But you see, as people are waking up, people are going back to sleep. And as you're becoming more human, tuning in, tapping in, the AI is becoming more seductive. And when I saw the Apple update, because they're releasing the iOS 18, I was impressed. You know, I think Apple makes some amazing products, whether you like them or not. But you see, the AI, what they're doing with their new update is going to change so many people. They're not even going to want to come outside. They're going to be trapped with Apple Vision Pro, with the glasses. They're going to be watching films on 100-foot screens. And that will be their reality. You've got to watch the film Player One, Ready Player One, right? By Steven Spielberg. That was showing you people are going to be living in their virtual headset. Demolition Man was a film which was actually showing you what was coming, because in Demolition Man, you know, starring Wesley Snipes, fantastic film, they were doing Skype conferences before you even had Skype, right? Let's talk about that. Demolition Man. They were doing Skype conferences, Zoom conferences before they even had Zoom. How on earth did they know that? They had teleconferencing and all kind of things. But the people who are writing these scripts, they know the plan. And one of the things in Demolition Man was that if you said certain things, they would fine you. You'll get a penalty. So you can only say certain things the AI wants you to say. And these are the signs of the end times. The battle of the end times. So we're in a powerful time right now. Also a time that you have to realize that there's a spiritual warfare happening. There's a big battle happening. And a lot of people have a choice to make. Because you see, there's an opposing force which has the same enthusiasm. Just as you want to elevate, they also want to destroy. You wake up, you want to do some yoga, you want to go for a run, go for a swim. On the flip side, you've got someone who wants to create mischief, havoc, problems. So you're going to have to remind yourself to stay awake, because with so much happening on the planet, the last thing you want to do is fall asleep and think that you can just go back to normal. There is no normal anymore. It's only time to elevate. Deep divers, how you feeling today? Shout out to everyone who's here, right? I said, let me go live on this topic because when I'm seeing what's happening on the planet, I say, okay, this is a time to speak up. You know, a lot of people right now are seeing bizarre things happening. Even in South Florida, they've got floods, right? There's a state of emergency over there. When you see all of these things happening, you have to realize now it's time to elevate or go home, right? We're elevating here. One of the biggest things that we can do right now on the planet, which can really help us, is to choose love over everything. You know, one of the biggest battles happening, and this is huge, right? Because one of the biggest battles happening in the end times is a battle which involves turning people against each other. And like I said, when you go back to the creation stories of even ancient Sumeria, they talk about this. They talk about how they had to divide human beings. Even in other ancient texts, they talk about how once upon a time everyone spoke the same language, but they had to divide people. And what happened was people were separated, different languages, at war with each other. And this was all done by design. So you're going to have to realize that the end times is upon us. And what that means is there's people that you know, friends and family, who you might have some disagreements with, who you might have some arguments with. And you have to remind yourself every single day that it's not personal. You see, right now, you're not going to wake up overnight. You either have this information or you don't. So you're going to have to be aware that during the end times, there's people that you know who may turn against you. Because many people fear what they don't understand. We saw that in 2020. Then you had the split between the vaxxed and the unvaxxed and all of this stuff. These are the signs of the end times. So you have to remind yourself that a lot is on the horizon for humanity. You know, a lot of people don't realize that things are just starting to get cooking. And it's been kind of quiet, especially after COVID. But things are coming back to surprise people. Because, you know, Denzel Washington said to Will Smith, at your highest moment, that's when the devil comes. Well, there's another one. When you fall asleep, the devil being a metaphor, that's when it comes. When you go back to sleep. And that's what a lot of people have done. They say, hey, things are back to normal. Not realizing a big storm is coming. And a lot of people aren't even looking in this direction. They're going to be washed away in a few seconds. Because one thing about the inorganic ones is that they never take a day off. Bob Marley said, wickedness never takes a day off. Why should I? That's a slow motion. Slow motion this side. So that's the reason why you got to stay alert. Because you see, we're in a period right now. We're in a cycle right now. Even in the Vedas, they talk about this being the Kali Yuga cycle, the age of deceit, destruction, hypocrisy. And it's a period that humanity is going through. And you have to make sure you're in the best position to protect your energy, raise your frequency and vibration, and also realize that the people you surround yourself with have been programmed. A lot of the people you surround yourself with are confused because they're being fed different information. You see, there's a war happening and a battle for the hearts and minds of the people. So if you don't program yourself, someone else is going to program you. If you don't know who you are, someone else is going to tell you who you are. And these are the times we're in. That's what happens during the end times. Souls are harvested and collected. Deep divers, am I diving too deep for you? Hit that like button, share the video. Hit that like button, share the video. And shout out to everyone who's here, deep divers. I said, oh, let me go live. Let me talk to the deep divers. I'm back. Can we go up a level, deep divers? Let's take a little break. And once again, smash that like button, share the video. We're in 1 hour, 11 minutes. Let me shout out to all the super chats. David Tomes, once again. Nicholas K, Quantum Dynamic 8. Deep divers, you can leave a super chat and give thanks. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. We need to go up another level. Let me see. Shout out to everyone who's here.
Ready, set, let's go. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up, going all the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up.
Let's pull that up. Are you ready to go all the way up, deep divers? If you are, hit that like button, share the video. We got an exclusive. Are you ready to go all the way up? And listen to what this amazing lyricist is saying in the lyrics.
Ready, set, let's go. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up, going all the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up, going all the way up. There's nothing you can do to stop it. I've been on the way up cause I know I'm popping. Hits, no misses. Clean up like the dishes. Ain't no point telling me to stop cause I won't listen. Every level got a new devil. I'ma give him hell cause I don't know better. I'm a born winner. I'm going all the way up. There's nothing you can do to make me ever give up. Let's go. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up, going all the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up, going all the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up, going all the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up, going all the way up. I'm getting close. I can taste it. I'm going up like a spaceship. I'm shaking the ground. I'm making it loud. I go to work when nobody's around. It's time to get it. It's time to go. It's time to shine. It's my time to blow. So I'ma steal the show. Ready, set, go. I'ma blow up like a C4. Tick, 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 boom. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up, going all the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up, going all the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up, going all the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up, going all the way up. I'm on a new level. I'm on a new level. I'm on a new level, leveling up.
We're on a new level, deep divers.
I'm on a new level. I'm on a new level, leveling up. I'm on a new level. I'm on a new level. I'm on a new level, leveling up. I'm on a new level. I'm on a new level. I'm on a new level, leveling up.
Drop a bomb for that, deep divers. A bomb of love. Good energy there. I'm on the way up. We're on the way up, deep divers. We are on the way up. Shout out to everyone who's here. Everyone who's diving deep, right? Like I said, we've been talking about the battle of the end times. And it's happening. You know, a lot of people right now are in a situation where they can feel it. They know it's happening. And you have to remind yourself there are a lot of people who have been here, done that, and they just came back for the final event. They just came back for the big show. A lot of the information, a lot of people aren't ready for all of it, because you're going to have to dissect it, decode it, and go through the layers of it. And that's why I created the Patreon. Patreon.com/RalphSmart. Let me shout out to all the patrons on Patreon.com/RalphSmart. If you haven't, deep divers, make sure you head to Patreon, sign up to the Patreon.com/RalphSmart, and see all of that content there, because it's going to blow your mind and inspire you at the same time. And these are the steps that we have to take to move forward. We've got to get the information. We've got to remind ourselves that not everyone can handle the information. So therefore, you have to create platforms where you can supply the information to those who are ready to accept it. And that's what I've been doing. I'm still making videos on YouTube, but the videos I make on YouTube, apart from live streaming, I'm realizing there's a lot of people on YouTube who may not be awake yet. Every video I make, I take that into consideration, that some people are just starting out. Some people are just on their first steps, on their first baby steps. So I've got to break it down. And that's good. I'm happy to see a lot of people who are just ready to take that first step, because these are the times to take it. These are definitely the times to take it. One of the things is that you've got to remind yourself that every single day, you have to realize that the only thing that will remain is the truth. That's the only thing that will be left standing. When we talk about the battle of the end times, okay? When we talk about the battle of the end times, the only thing that will be left standing is the truth. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. The only thing that will be left standing is the truth. The only ones who will be left standing are the righteous. Everything else is going to fade away. Everything you've seen happen in the Matrix is symbolic. Even those who had the fame and the fortune. The signs of the end times is that actually justice is prevailing. The Epsteins, all of these people, they only got caught because we're in the end times. This is the time where anything you do in the dark will come out in the light. Diddy, all of these things, these are all symbolic that for a long time you were hypnotized with the bling bling. You were hypnotized with the big mansions, the MTV cribs, all of these things. But now you're starting to say, wait a second, things aren't what they seem. So even people in the entertainment industry, people I even looked up to at one point when I was younger, I used to sometimes say, okay, these people they're so rich and powerful and famous, but when you're a young, impressionable youth, you don't know any better. Now even these people are starting to get taken down, and the house of cards is falling. This is all symbolic of the battle of the end times, that the people that we thought were the ones to look up to were the ones who were doing the worst things ever. And a lot of people right now are realizing, like I always say, listen to yourself, follow yourself, because the truth is within you. Like I said, the end times are not about the ending of the universe. This is huge. You know, when I say the end times, or when the ancients speak of the end times, we're not talking about an ending of the universe. It's a never-ending universe. The universe is never ever going to end. It's going to continue to go on. It's about the ending of this current version of reality. The programs are crashing. And the programs I'm talking about are the programs which were once in full effect, once pulled the wool over our eyes and hypnotized us and thought, yeah, that's the life we want to live. These programs are crashing because we're seeing examples of them crash. We're seeing that actually they weren't built on anything of substance. So the programs are malfunctioning. And this is a sign of the end times. These programs once worked flawlessly, without questioning. Now people are questioning the programs, the very fabric of the machine itself. Greed and ego and idolatry have destroyed the hearts of humans, and now it's time for the light to shine again. Things have come full circle. We're actually going back to basics. And this is a beautiful time to realize that the new earth is being born. You know, one of the biggest things that happens during the end times event is that a lot of people will still try and cling on to the lower frequencies. But there will be people who will be brave enough to do the right thing. They'll be brave enough to rise above and challenge the opposing forces. And that's why this picture is so amazing, because it's symbolic of the end times event, where you have two opposing forces, both sure of victory. So who will get the victory? Is the one who does not give up. And like I told you already, the inorganic ones never take a day off, and they never give up. So therefore, during the end times event, it's up to human beings to never give up. Because if they give up, they haven't got a chance at all. At all. So we've got the victory. You know, one of the biggest things in quantum healing. Oh my gosh, quantum dynamic. I got a new name for you. Quantum healing, right? Quantum healing. Quantum healing, right? So one of the biggest things in quantum healing is that when you remind yourself, you can act as if it's here, you know, and this will actually heal you. When you can realize that you are the placebo. You are the placebo. A lot of people don't realize that. You know, I spoke to Dr. Bruce Lipton a while back, who is really a phenomenal biologist and talks about epigenetics. But when you remind yourself, this mind that you have can really bend reality, change reality, and it can really usher in quantum healing. So, you know, we're in a powerful time. Quantum dynamic, let me give you a special shout out. You are most definitely appreciated. I feel so special and celebrated right now. I'm so grateful to you, Ralph. Hey, you are appreciated. You are most definitely appreciated. And let me give a shout out to everyone who's here. Everyone who's here, you are all appreciated. Everyone who made it here, you are appreciated. And I do these streams because universe has blessed me with abundance, infinite abundance, health, wealth, and prosperity. But we're in the end times, and you got to roll with the times. And that means each and every one of us moving to the next level. Because I realized that actually, even on YouTube, the game has changed, because they're changing these algorithms. Once upon a time, I would just make videos and that was it. They would just go viral, because the algorithms were pushing positivity. But the awakening got too strong. But the hack around that was to say, okay, we can still go live, right? So live streaming is extremely powerful because in these days and times, you just want to be able to give the message to the people in its organic way. Because you see, in the end times, and what the inorganic ones have done is to make it very hard to discern between a real human and an artificially created human. Within the next few years, you're going to start to see people who aren't really people, but they're just avatars of people plugged into a computer software program. There's actually a software that can do that. I can make videos, and you can have an avatar, and it can kind of take your voice sample and start speaking. They've already got that technology, and that's shocking. And that's the reason why even in the music industry, they've got AI songs which can literally clone your voice, and it's almost indistinguishable from the artist. So in the next 5 years, that's going to be perfect. So what's happening is that, and even will.i.am was talking about how he wants artists to own the AI version of their voice. And that's powerful because if you don't, someone can just clone your whole voice, have a phone call with someone else. They're like, I spoke to you. I'm like, who? They're like, I spoke to you. Not me, someone else, right? They hacked they hacked your voice, right? They cloned your voice, right? So you have to remind yourself, we're in a time right now where you really want to realize that what you have is more powerful than any AI, right? What you have is more powerful than any AI. What you have is more powerful than any AI simulated version of yourself, okay? We're in a time right now as well where people are starting to realize that there's a push, and it's an artificial push, to deliberately dumb down the masses, and this has been done by design. Once again, one of the greatest tricks the devil played on people was to tell you that he doesn't exist. The deliberate dumbing down of people is now being created through algorithms. They can get you to focus on something, and you might think that, oh my gosh, because a lot of people are focusing on it, it must be the truth. When you understand and overstand about human psychology, you realize that human beings are groupthink species, meaning that if everyone is doing something, we want to do it too. So what's happened is that the algorithms are controlling what people look at because they're making what they want popular. They're making what they want other people to see go viral. That's the reason why you can have a video go viral even when it's not giving you anything back in return. The good news is that now people are realizing that, hey, that's coming to an end. Because you see, what's happened is it's gotten too saturated. People want the truth. People are ready to elevate. People are ready to do better. People are ready to ascend into the gods and goddesses that they came here to be. And it's time to fly. It's time to go to the next level. So the battle of the end times is real. You know, it's going to be a battle simply because it was written. And if I wasn't doing what I was doing right now, I would have lost the battle. Meaning, if I wasn't on my A game, showing up, being who I truly am, I would have lost this battle. The only way to win is to be authentically yourself. I could have played a character, and my oh my, I would have been extremely, even more popular. But I said, okay, soul not for sale. Because during the end times, you're going to get a deal, a proposition, a proposal, where someone is going to offer you something to not be yourself. And they do this through the algorithms. Let's just say you're on TikTok. If you're a young boy, a young girl on TikTok, and a certain video you do goes viral, what are you going to do? You're going to replicate that video, because that's what the algorithm is telling you to do. So this is how the inorganic ones can actually manipulate you, by making the lowest part of who you are the most successful part of who you are. I don't think you heard me. You might have to listen to this again. By making the lowest part of who you are the most successful part of who you are. And that's a trick. A lot of people fall into it. A lot of people get duped because, once again, it's all been done by design. How you win is by being yourself. There's a reason why Ralph Smart is still here, looking 23. The reason why is because I was able to stay true to myself. I was offered, hey, Ralph, be someone else. I'll help you get even more popular. I said, I don't care about fame. I'm here to deliver a message to the people. And that's the reason why I'm still here. A lot of people aren't here and are not going to be here because they're not being who they truly came here to be. They're going to get hurt in a very bad way if you're caught up living someone else's life. If you're living through a fake persona, during the battle of the end times, you're going to get destroyed imminently. And that's the reason why it's so imperative, so essential that you become who you came here to be without apology. And like I told you, we're in a time right now where the veil has been lifted. There's a reason why you have even people in the entertainment industry coming out and giving you their side of the story and giving you an introspective of their life. And that's because we're in this time right now. They know what time it is, that you have to come out and be who you are without a mask. And that's how you actually win the battle during the end times. Because you see, so many people are living through a fake persona and a mask. So if you have taken your mask off, you've won. Shout out to all the deep divers who are here. All the deep divers who are diving deep. All the deep divers who are raising the frequency. Make sure you hit that like button, share the video. Hit that like button, share the video, and let's raise the frequency. let me shout out to the amazing Quantum Dynamic 8. You are most definitely appreciated. And what I've noticed, deep divers, it's always the same people who are always supporting the show. David Tomes, Quantum Dynamic 8. In fact, I should mention you every single time I make a video, right? You are most definitely appreciated. Quantum Dynamic 8, shout out to you. Do you think the inorganic ones hack? And let me say this, deep divers. When I do these live streams, make sure you do support the live stream. Don't allow Quantum Dynamic 8 or David Tomes just to hit the super chat. If you haven't, hit that super chat. Give thanks. Ask a question. Let's support the show, because once again, the inorganic ones get all the support they need. And it's time for you to really realize that you can be a part of something great, phenomenal, and life-changing when you support the real. Quantum Dynamic 8, shout out to you. Do you think the inorganic ones hack emotions by instilling a set of thoughts like all people who are depressed say the same dialogue, like I'm miserable, I've no hope in joy, we all say we are so grateful, lucky human, etc. So is there a predestined chip? That's a fantastic question. Fantastic question. So once again, do you think the inorganic ones hack emotions by instilling a set of thoughts like all people who are depressed say the same dialogue, like I'm miserable, I've no hope in joy, we all say we are grateful, lucky human? That's a fantastic question. What I'll tell you is that these are programs. You see, the ancients knew this, that even depression, which is really it's real inside of the minds who have it, because it's almost like a dark cloud over your head. You know, people who say depression isn't real is very real. Just like gratitude is very real. What is real but electrical signals interpreted by your brain? How that brain can be hacked is endless ways that the brain can be hacked. For example, if you have a bad diet, if you're eating junk food 24/7, this will affect you. It will lower your mood, make you feel sluggish, which will make you feel not good enough, which will lead to depression. So when you walk around your neighborhood or busy cities, when you remind yourself that the junk food is cheaper, it's more accessible to people. That's what they want to consume because it's quick and easy. The good food, whole foods, they say it's whole paycheck. It's expensive. But actually, the truth is, it will heal you. And a lot of people who are always saying thank you, it's because of their habits, their daily habits, their daily routines, what they're doing every single day. It gives them so much, you see. And we have to remind ourselves we're an extension of what we're doing every single day. That's a slow motion. Slow motion this side. We're an extension of what we're doing every single day. And I'll let that marinate and sink in, because once again, we are extensions of what we're doing every single day. And that's what creates the feedback loop mechanisms, where people don't realize if they don't change something, they're always going to get the same reality, you know. And it's tough to change things because, you know, letting go of junk food is tough because it tastes great, but it makes you feel terrible. Because once again, they focused on making it taste good. They didn't focus on the nutrition. We all can eat junk food from time to time, but you see, if you keep doing it, you're going to feel like junk because you are what you eat. And you know, with everything, we've got to remind ourselves that absolutely, the cat in the kitchen, depression is suppression. Absolutely. We've got to remind ourselves every single day. That's a great point. Depression is suppression, right? So one of the biggest things right now is to really express yourself. You know, there are so many people on this planet who have so much to say. There are so many people on this planet who are thinking things, but they're not saying them. And anytime you're kind of overthinking something about maybe the state of the world or your situation or your relationship, if you don't express it, it leads into internal energy blocks, which lead to suppression, which leads to, once again, depression, right? So we've got to remind ourselves that, you know, it's about how we feel, which is essential. Every single day, you want to make sure that you're feeling good, because there's been a force which, if you're not careful, will have you hating yourself. Because you see, even on social media, you can never be quite good enough, right? For a lot of people, especially young people, there's a lot of competition. On these apps, people aren't creating because they want to create. They're creating because they want to be the top one. They want to be the number one creator. So once again, it goes back to ego. It goes back to greed. It goes back to me instead of we. So the reason why Instagram collapsed is because people were obsessed. They were obsessed with themselves. Because I remember Instagram in 2013, when I got on, people were sharing a lot of amazing, inspiring posts, which were really about helping other people. What happened was, as the cameras started to get better, people became more consumed with themselves, became not about anyone else. It became about me. People developed narcissistic personality disorder, and people sense this. And that's the reason why there's so many people even on Instagram who don't even post anymore. A lot of people have left the app because there's no community, right? And that's what happens when you don't really work together. And that's why I do these streams, because these streams aren't about me. These streams are about you. These streams are about your messages, right? And let me thank Poetic Soul 1211. You are appreciated. Shout out to you. These streams are about all of us. That's why I do them. And we've got to remind ourselves that this is really how to survive the battle of the end times. You know, we have to realize that it's so easy to try and compete with other people. When I first started to even make videos, I said, okay, let me reach out to other people in my same field. And this is the 5D mindset. Till Swan, a good friend, we started to do videos together. All of these people who I had on Infinite Waters and who I still have, Billy Carson, who came on Infinite Waters a few times, that's what it's about. It's about realizing it's not about me. That's why I didn't call this channel Ralph Smart. It's Infinite Waters. It's about all of us. And realizing we can only go to the next level when people realize it's not about one person. It's about a collective mindset. So we can rise above any adversity, anything in our way. That's what this is about. Because you see, a lot of people don't realize is there's a big war happening. Silent weapons for quiet wars. Silent weapons for quiet wars. And the war that's happening isn't just physical. It's a sound war. It's an emotional war. It's a war which is being controlled by algorithms. Algorithms are attacking you every single day by controlling your perception. You think, hey, I got to be someone else so I can get the algorithm to like me. So people don't realize that already the AI has become a sort of God. And, you know, it's up to you to really get back your power. Because, you know, one of the most powerful things about human beings is their ability to have a mind of their own. If you lose that, you lose everything. Once again, I did say the battle of the end times is a battle that we win once we become ourselves. Once we truly are ourselves unapologetically. That means letting go of the demands, expectations from society. Because once again, this quote really sums it up. By the great Krishnamurti. It is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. Always keep this in your mind. It is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. That's such a powerful statement. And every time we want to remind ourselves that we've got inner work to do, we've got to heal ourselves. Because if we don't heal ourselves, we're only going to add fuel to the fire. The reason why the world is so jacked up is because people neglected the inner work they had to do. It's time to start going back to that inner work, because that's the only hope. I had to do the inner work. I didn't want to do it. I wanted to be a fool. I wanted to be ignorant. But I had to. If I wanted to evolve, I had to. You see, we're in a time right now where you can evolve or you can stay the same. You see, there's two choices. You can evolve or you can stay the same. Do you want to evolve or do you want to stay the same? I want to evolve. I want to go to the next level of greatness. That means I got to step up. I got to work on myself. It's not fun to do all the time. Sometimes it's a pain in the ass, but you got to do it. And this is where we find ourselves. And it's beautiful. Shout out to everyone who's here. Deep divers, hit that like button, share the video. Let me shout out to all of you wonderful deep divers. How you feeling? Let me shout out to the wonderful Stephanie. The wonderful Stephanie. Stephanie, you are appreciated. Grateful for you being here and sharing this beautiful information with us all. Hey, I appreciate that, Stephanie. You're most definitely appreciated. And that's what I'm here to do, you see, because once again, I realize that, hey, there's only now. You know, when you wake up with a mindset that there's only now, everything changes. You see, we've got to remind ourselves that you don't want to wait till next year to do it. You don't want to wait till next month to do it. You want to do it right now. There are so many people right now who are putting it off. They're saying, you know what? When I'm ready, you're never going to be ready. So I had to realize that, hey, I got to put myself out there. I've got to go live, right? I've got to show up, because I know what that can do, how that's going to influence millions of people in a positive way. You know, we don't even realize that what we do will affect other people. Just imagine if Ralph Smart wasn't in his purpose, because I had times when, if I wasn't careful, I would have lost the battle. Because each and every one of us has an angel and a demon inside of them. And every single day you want to remind yourself that there's a war going on, not just outside, but inside of you. And there are a lot of people who can start somewhere and then they lose everything because it goes to their head. They get carried away. And for me, I realize that actually I've got to stay like a student every single day, because that's the reason why I'm still here. Don't think you can't be here this long without abiding by universal law. It's impossible. I had to humble myself. I had to realize it's a gift. I had to realize that actually, let me not take it for granted, because I've seen so many people who I started out with, they're no longer here. They got carried away. It got to their head. And I'm thinking, gosh, just imagine if they were here. Just imagine if they were still sharing, still creating. But once again, along this journey, you can be at the highest height of your success, but if you don't have humility, you're going to be crushed by the next day. And it happens to so many people. They have a little bit of success, it goes to their head, and the next few months get real hard for them. You know, people think that this is always going to be how it is, but the game changes. I was aware of that, to realize that, hey, every day you got to stay humble. You got to remind yourself that just because it's given to you, it doesn't mean that it's there, that it's going to stay there. You've got to work towards gratitude, to say thank you. You know, when I wake up, I say, gosh, I'm so blessed. I'm so grateful, because I started in my back garden with a beautiful Afro deep dives. Right? So I don't take it for granted. And every single day, if you remind yourself not to take it for granted, you're going to propel yourself. You see, we've got to remind ourselves that in this world, and during these end times events, we sometimes look for people who have a lot of material possessions. Maybe they know something that we don't. But you see, the truth is, when you've been around, like I've been around, you're not that impressed with these material possessions, because you realize that's fleeting. That's all going to fade away. The only thing that's going to last is the love in your heart. And the only thing that's going to remain is the truth. So I'm not fazed by people's wealth. For me, that doesn't mean anything. I want to see the contents of your character. I want to see the message you're delivering. So these are all serving as a catalyst to usher in the new earth. So we can remind ourselves every single day that actually, you see, the old way was being hypnotized by the materialistic things. But we're now even seeing people who have everything, billionaires, be taken down. Billionaires, these people who had everything, but what they lacked was integrity. What they lacked was self-discipline. So everything is changing. It's about your character right now. That's what matters. So I wouldn't be here if I got too greedy, because I had deals on the table. I was given offers, and the inorganic ones always give you offers. But I had to say, you know what? I got to follow a righteous path. I'm not a saint. Even the cat down the road knows that, deep divers. But I'm someone who is able to realize that if you're not careful, you're going to be turned into something you didn't want. You never wanted. There are so many people right now who have been transformed. It's not even funny. And you got to stay real. You know, that means you got to connect with the people, not live in a glass house. Because there are a lot of people who, once you find the balance inside of you, you can really be Superwoman, Superman. But it's the balance, you know. We're in a powerful time right now. Like I said, the end times are signifying, what did I write down and say? The end times are not about the ending of the universe. It's about the ending of this current version of reality. The programs are crashing. Greed, ego, and idolatry have destroyed the hearts of humans, and now it's time for the light to shine again. Let me read it one more time. The end times are not about the ending of the universe. It's about the ending of this current version of reality. The programs are crashing. Greed, ego, and idolatry have destroyed the hearts of humans, and now it's time for the light to shine again. Slow motion this side. Are you ready for the light to shine again, deep divers? Smash that like button, share the video. What's up, deep divers? Smash that like button, share the video. Let me say a big shout out to Dimensional Veil in the house. You are appreciated. You are appreciated, Dimensional Veil. Hello, Ralph. Blessed to see this on my work break. Hey, I appreciate you. And let me give a big shout out to Dimensional Veil, always supporting Infinite Waters, always diving deep. I always see you in the comment section. You're most definitely appreciated. Hello, Ralph. Blessed to see this on my work break. I will keep sending high frequency vibes to you and all the deep divers. Peace. Hey, you are appreciated. I appreciate that. And that's what it's about, you know. We've got to remind ourselves, one of the biggest things, deep divers, is that people don't really know how powerful they are. You know, people don't really know that they're gods and goddesses in amnesia. People don't really know what they can really do if they put their mind to it. It's a mindset. So one of the biggest things I tell myself every single day is that you're unfinished business. You are unfinished business, and you deep divers are unfinished business, right? Every single day you want to remind yourself of that you haven't even started yet. Because I told you, I said, hey, when I start live streaming, it's a wrap. It's over. It's over. Because doing daily uploads, it's fine. I love being in nature. I'm there every day. You saw today's video, but I realized that the game changed. You see, where things are shifting, whether I like it or not, is that live streaming is gonna be the future. See, when I started, it was about uploading videos. Now it's about going live. So even me, I've had to adapt. I've had to cross over to this new way of creating content, but I'm doing it gracefully, knowing that I can come from both angles. It's over. You see, in life, you've got to not get left behind or caught in the old ways. And this is all symbolic of moving to the new, reminding ourselves that, yes, you know, sometimes I would be in the heart of nature. I'm like, hey, I just wish I could do this in live time. Well, now we're here, right? So we've got to remind ourselves, we don't even realize sometimes that this technology is truly, if we use it in the right way, it can truly liberate us and also help reconnect all of us. And that's what I'm going to do. Do you think I was going to miss out on this opportunity to go live, to connect with deep divers in live time? I don't think so. Let me shout out to Danny. You are appreciated. Let me give you a round of applause. Danny, thank you. I appreciate you. You are appreciated. And that's one of the biggest things, that we've got to remind ourselves that we have an opportunity. You see, during the end times, which we're in right now, you have to realize that your voice matters. Your voice matters more than you know, more than you think, more than even you imagine. So you have to realize every single day that your voice is a powerful tool. You see, the message got diluted. And that's the reason why for a long time, chaos was rampant in society. And it still is, because the message disappeared. And you have to realize there's cycles in the universe, in Earth, in the world, where you have a super conscious cycle, then you have a cycle where everyone goes back to sleep. And what's happened is people are now seeing the effects of everything after being asleep for a long time, that actually it's not a good look. It's definitely not a good look. And it's time to bring back the message. We can do this through the music. We can do this through the healing. We can do this through the food. We can do this also by utilizing this technology to work for us. You see, every single day, Fox News have got a news story for you. But is it really helping you become your greatest version? Or is it leading you down a dark road? So we've got to remind ourselves every single day that, once again, the inorganic ones never take a day off. George Orwell, who talked about 1984, spoke about how if you want a vision of the future, imagine a boot stamping on your face forever. He was actually referring to the demonic entities that exist, who are out to really harvest souls and collect minds and hearts, that they're not going to stop until there is ultimate submission. And that's the reason why you shouldn't stop. Because you see, if you can, that's why I've got this picture up, because this picture is really showing you that there's a battle happening. The angel is holding the sword. The demon is holding the sword. And you have to realize, when you learn about the Hermetic principles, there is the principle of polarity. And this is key to understand and overstand the end times, that just because you're meditating, you're raising your frequency, don't think that that's what everyone is doing or even cares to do. Like in one of the Batman films, it says, some people just want to see the world burn. So you have to remind yourself every single day that you want to be a force of good. You want to be a force of helping other people. Because you see, if you do, you will become immortal. The great sages immortalize themselves through selflessness, which is the great paradox. Billions of people are still in awe of the sages, the prophets, all of these people. But in their time, the ones who were getting the success were the singers, the entertainers, all of these people. But as time went on, everyone forgot who they even were. So in a world right now with the battle of the end times, sometimes we think that these even so-called celebrities, that's amazing. Like, oh my gosh. But these people, in 1,000 years, will they even be remembered? Because you see, we only remember a contribution on an epic scale. Everything else falls by the wayside. So what can seem great for a few seconds in the long run can seem meaningless. It's so easy to get caught up into a superficial life. And this is the battle of the end times. This is the battle we're all up against. The battle between doing what we want versus doing what society wants us to do. The battle between being yourself and being what other people want you to be. The battle between swimming in your own lane versus comparing yourself to other people on social media. So, we're in a battle of the end times, and who wins is ultimately the one who is truly in their heart space, truly not willing to bend over, truly not having their soul for sale. Speak life over your journey. Lucy, shout out to you. You are appreciated. Absolutely. Let's do that. Let's speak life over your journey. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's speak life into our journey, because you see, life and death actually begins in the tongue. And I was aware of this because I realized that actually I could create my own reality with what I was saying. So I realized early on that actually I've got to be careful what I say, because it's going to manifest. You got to be very, very careful, because anything you say is a spell and can actually create a future reality for yourself. So like Lucy Lou is saying, speak life over your journey. That's so important, because your tongue is your bond. Absolutely. Coming back with another message to enlighten us all. Lucy Lou in the house. Absolutely. You know, we are messing up the algorithm, and you know, we've got to remind ourselves that there's a battle happening, and you have to be ready to step up, to rise up, to remind yourself every single day that as the inorganic ones go harder, you want to go harder. You also want to remind yourself that the battle is actually happening inside of you. You know, we think, and even when I show you this picture, just imagine it inside of yourself. Once again, that's a slow motion. This picture, just imagine it inside of yourself. This is the war that's happening inside the hearts and minds of 8 billion people. There's a big battle happening. And the thing is, so often, unfortunately, the lower nature wins. Because how does the lower nature win? Because once again, the lower nature is very powerful. To reach to the higher heights, you're gonna have to be even more powerful than that massive force, which says, you know what? Don't work on your dream. You know what? Forget about your vision. Just turn up. So your lower nature is extremely powerful because it's giving you the easy way out. It wants you just to relax and forget about who you really are. And to rise to that higher nature, you're going to have to be Superman. Because you got to remind yourself that even the ancients talked about this place as being a testing ground, a learning university. Planet Earth is a learning university. Souls are sent here to learn, and people who incarnate here, some of them have come back to help. Some of them have come back to help. Royalty, shout out to you. I like that name. You are definitely appreciated. Some of them have come back to help. And a lot of souls who are here have come back on the loop to learn certain lessons. And if you're very intuitive and in tune, you realize that actually I've been here before. This place seems awfully familiar. And that's because souls are always recycled through the universe, and they come back here to learn things. The 3D is one of the lowest frequency planets around, very dense, and that's the reason why so much crazy ass shit happens here. Because once again, this is a university. We're enrolling in different classes, different lessons. We're all here to learn. And that's the reason why things can get really intense, because, we're learning. But the battle of the end times, once again, we've got to remind ourselves that the end times is not about the ending of the universe. It's about the ending of this current version of reality. The programs are crashing. Greed, ego, and idolatry have destroyed the hearts of humans. And now it's time for the light to shine again. So we've got to remind ourselves, deep divers, let the light shine again. And remind yourself, we're in a very, very powerful time. Be very vigilant, very aware about what's coming, because it's coming. It was written. It was written. Emily, let me shout out to Emily, the wonderful Emily, because she's been a deep diver for a long time. Let me pull you up on the screen, Emily. Shout out to everyone who's here, everyone who's diving deep. Hit that like button, deep divers, share the video. Hit that like button, deep divers, share the video. Emily, I appreciate that. Ralph, I've been listening to you for 10 years. I appreciate that. You're most definitely appreciated. And that just shows, once again, you want to have the fortitude to still be standing, because that's why I'm still here. I'm always going to be here, because I'm just being myself. So when you remind yourself, when you're yourself, you can always win. And this is how the battle of the end times is won, by you being yourself, by you staying in your true power, because everything else is going to be gone. Everything else is going to crumble. Only the truth is going to be left standing. So in your own life, say, hey, can I still be here in the next 10 years with the same message? Let me see. Show me. Because a lot of people start, then they stop. I'm still here after 10 years, and I'll be here again in another 10 years with a cat down the road. Deep divers, how you feeling today? Right? So let's always raise the frequency, raise the vibration. I just wanted to give you this message because, once again, I felt a calling to really go live more, and I'll be doing more live streams. Once again, anytime you want Ralph Smart to go live, just say go live, Ralph, right? And but life is good, deep divers. I hope all of you are taking care of yourself, and let's keep raising the frequency. What seems like the end is actually a new beginning. in disguise, right? Always remind yourself of that. What seems like the end is nothing more than a new beginning in disguise. So to everyone who's here, you are most definitely appreciated. I'll be back. And, this was a very powerful stream. I'm going to have to listen to this again. But we're back, deep divers. Hit the like button, share the video. And, let's go.
I'm so happy. The whole world is just beginning. We already won. It's about us all. So many beautiful deep divers here.
Once again, deep divers, it feels so good to be alive. Shout out to everyone who's here. And also, make sure if you haven't already, join the patreon.com/Ralph Smart. 2 videos uploaded there today. You're going to want to check out. And you're going to find videos which are way too spicy for YouTube. Also, other videos which you're going to love. So join the Patreon. And I want to say a thank you to everyone who's been here. You're most definitely appreciated. Keep diving deep. So deep divers, I'll be back. Peace, love, and harmony. One love.